So, is the best yet to come? That is a good question to ask. And I want to keep it in the context of September 11th today, since that is what we're thinking about today. And right after 9/11, y'all remember one of, I think, I'm biased, but a great president in my lifetime was George W. Bush. I like him. I know he was funny sometimes, not on purpose. But y'all remember, right after 9/11, he went to ground zero, right? And here's a picture of him at ground zero. Y'all remember this? It's probably etched vividly in your mind. So take a look at this picture. You'll probably remember this when he stood there and said, "I hear you," and the people who knocked this building down is going to hear all of this really soon. But I believe that picture captures the heart and the spirit of America. And right after 9/11, the idea that we're going to rebuild, the idea that the best is yet to come. And yes, we are mourning the loss of about 3,000 people, but they had that anticipation and that hope and that vision that the best was yet to come. But let me ask you, is the best really yet to come? And as we're dealing with COVID-19, lots of us are still locked down. California is on fire. Politics is so messed up right now. And it's hard to really believe that the best is yet to come, isn't it? And is the best yet to come? I do believe that we will get past COVID-19. I believe that the forest fires, they will put them out. I believe that we will recover from the recent hurricanes. I believe that there will be a day when things get better in America. And I long for that day. I hope for that day. But I want to look a little bit beyond that. And I want to look to the end of all things and see at the end the best is yet to come. I'm reading Revelation 21 to you guys today, and I've really been pouring into this today. And there won't be 5 action steps today, but I'm just going to look verse by verse at this, and we're going to talk about it together. This is the Apostle John speaking. He was exiled to an island called Patmos, and God gave him this revelation of Jesus Christ, which included the end time events that a lot of Christians focus on. But in chapter 21, everything has been completed. The tribulation period, God has poured out his wrath on the unbelieving world. And we have experienced the millennial kingdom of 1,000 years. And Armageddon has taken place. Jesus has defeated all his enemies. The judgment seat of Christ, the white throne judgment, has taken place. The Satan has been bound and been thrown into the lake of fire. Everything has been made right, guys. And finally, we see this beautiful vision. Y'all ready? Here's the best that is yet to come after all of this is completed. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. We'll think about that at another time. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Remember John 14. Jesus said, I go to prepare a place for you. Maybe this is the place he was preparing. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Lots of tears being shed today. And death shall be no more. Neither shall there be any mourning, no crying, nor pain any more. Why? For the former things have passed away. And he who was seated on the throne said, Behold, I am making all things new. As he said, write this down. So he says, John, write this down specifically. For these words are trustworthy and true. We hear a lot of talk about fake news. Guys, this is not fake news. The best is yet to come, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why. If you look at verse 2, the best is yet to come because we will live in a new, perfect world. Now, there's some debate to whether is God going to remake the current earth that we live on right now, or is he going to create a completely new heaven and a new earth? Now, when you look in other Old Testament passages, the Hebrew word they use is Bora, B-R-B-A-R-A, which basically means to create out of nothing. So it could be that he creates a completely new heaven and new earth out of nothing, or it could be that he just refurbishes the current world that we live in and makes it perfect like the Garden of Eden again. Now, no matter what you believe in that regards, we see that this is going to be a completely new world. We see that God is going to come down in the city, the holy city, and God will be with us. We will be in a new world without terrorist attacks, without famines, without sickness on a global scale. There will be no pandemic, so the best is yet to come. There will be no natural disasters, no fires in California, and no wars, no financial markets collapsing, and guys, none of the personal struggles that you go through on this earth. You will never wake up tired in the new heaven and the new earth that God has prepared for us that will come down. Number 3, guys, is in verse 3. Number 2 is in verse 3. We will enjoy a personal physical access to God. Right now, believers in Jesus, we cannot see him, right? We cannot go and physically hug our Savior, though we would love to do that. But the best is yet to come because Jesus will be there. God will be there in his whole entire essence, in the beauty of his majesty, and we will see him for who he is. Now remember, all throughout the Bible and even today, if you were to see the face of God right now, you would melt like a candle. But when we're in the heavenly new heaven and new earth, we will have physical access to God. Now, a lot of you might be missing your family because of COVID-19, and we see stories about this. Loved ones in nursing homes that their family can't go see them. And I want you to think about some family members that maybe you're missing today. And I want you to remember those times that you shared with them and you hugged them and you're in their presence. Ashley, I saw that picture you shared of who you said was the greatest man of God on the planet. And think about spending time with that great man of God. And then compare that to what we're going to see when we go beyond the spiritual connection to God and we're actually physically in his presence. Imagine that, guys. So the best is yet to come because God will dwell with us. That's what that passage says. And the dwelling place of God is with men. He will dwell with them. He will be, and they will be his people, and God will be their God. So the best is yet to come. We're going to physically be in the presence of God. Number 3 would be a verse 4. Sorry about that. And I didn't put any notes on this because you guys know what pain is, right? Whether it's the pain of seeing what happened to our country on 9/11 19 years ago, and maybe it's the pain that you're dealing with of cancer right now. Maybe it's the pain of knowing your friend is suffering with COVID-19 and you can't be there to comfort them. Maybe it is the heartbreak of losing a loved one. And maybe you feel like there's never going to be an end to your pain today. I want to assure you that the best is yet to come in regards to your pain. God is going to take all your pain away. So I want to encourage you. I know this is a great time of depression and suicidal thoughts. Motivation family, if you're thinking about killing yourself today, look at me. I'm talking straight to you. Please, please message me. And I want to encourage you that the best is yet to come. One day you're not going to be in pain. One day your loved one's not going to leave you. One day you're never going to get heartbroken by someone you thought loved you. One of these days you're not going to be addicted to opioids. There's not going to be that pain anymore. So be encouraged today. There will be a day when there's no more pain. And lastly, in verse 5, we will see the fulfillment of all God's promises. Look at that, verse 5. Behold, I'm making all things new. That is a promise from God. And he said, write these things down, for these words are trustworthy and true. I know a lot of politicians make promises to people. Y'all remember George Bush Sr. said, read my lips, no new taxes. Well, that got him in trouble and he didn't get reelected for that because he actually raised taxes. So, but when God makes promises, he keeps them. And the best is yet to come because God is going to fulfill his promise. So when God says there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, there's going to be one. When God says there's going to be no more pain, there's going to be no more pain. And when God says he's going to be dwelling with us physically, he's really going to do it. So I want to encourage you this morning. God is going to keep this promise. I don't know what you're going through today. I know that we're remembering 9/11 today, and it's hard to see that the best is yet to come. But even if we never see a good day on this earth again, the best is yet to come. So let me lead y'all with the challenge, Motivation family. Meditate and memorize Revelation 21:5. And remind yourself of the promise that God is going to make all things new. So here is your action step today, Motivation family. Take verse 5, and he who was seated on the throne said, behold, I am making all things new. Also he said, write these down, for these words are trustworthy and true. I want to ask you guys to memorize that, meditate on it. And you're going through a mess on earth right now. I know, I'm with you. But remind yourself, the best is yet to come, guys. All right, Motivation family, that's what I have to say about it. So let me see what you guys are saying today. What are your thoughts on Revelation 21? What are you most looking forward to in this new season when all is fulfilled and we're with Jesus? What are you looking for most? I want to hear from you guys. And what part of this passage really just hits you in an interesting way? And one more thing, what applications do you see in this passage? That's why we call this the Motivation family. I motivate, you guys motivate, and we all grow together. That's the point here today.